introduction on this disability simulation. I just want to say overall, I think that it is hands down a great assignment to have us doing. Um, I think that it really gives us the chance to realize what our clients are going through. I spoke about this a little bit in my paper about how it'll make me a better clinician. I found myself struggling to do a lot of the things um, that I needed to do. For example, just simple things like getting dressed in the morning and stuff. I found myself constantly being like, oh shoot, I have to go back and get this, and I have to go back and get this, and I have to do this, instead of just trying to put it all together in the morning and like have them all in one area in order to save energy. Um, and like it just really puts it in a better view of the fact that even though we as clinicians know that the client should put her shoes and her socks and all of their clothes right together, right next to each other, so that when they wake up in the morning, they can put it all on at the same time, I found myself putting my clothes on in my bedroom, going out and grabbing my shoes, and attempting to put them on, and then forgetting that I had to come back in here and get my socks on, where I would then put my socks on, and then I would go back out and get my sneakers to put those back on, and then it ended up taking me about 5 or 10 minutes just going back and forth between rooms with my Hemi walker, and it just really makes you realize that just because I tell you this is the easier way to do it, you're not necessarily going to remember that and have that built into your head. And it's something that we as clinicians need to continue to do throughout our sessions with a client. We really need to help them remember and help them learn to adapt their whole entire life for this disability. And that's something that I was really able to see, being able to have the disability in this setting and having the chance to actually complete 48 hours having the disability. Another thing is I kind of really struggled having my disability. The disability that I had was a left CVA with right fine motor and gross motor deficits in my arm, and I did weight bear as tolerated in my right leg, so I really couldn't stand too long on my right leg, and I kept finding it really difficult for myself because I would have my left hand on the Hemi walker, and I kept finding myself like doing things with my right hand and like grabbing things and attempting to do stuff with it, even though I really didn't have the ability to do it. So that's one thing that I really struggled with throughout this simulation, and I actually found that if I had like held my arm behind my back, or if I was wearing a sweatshirt, I would put my arm like not through the sleeve. I found that it was way more possible for me to get the idea of what it was like to have only one working hand rather than having them both there, because I'm not used to not being able to use my right hand, which is my dominant hand. So as I said, like I'd be walking and I'd be like, oh, I need to pick up my wallet or something. I would just pick it up with my right hand, and then I'd be like, no, I'm unable to pick it up with my right hand. And I just had to constantly kind of remind myself that I had this sort of disability. And so I think that was kind of a difficult thing for me to do. But after a while, I got to the point where I wasn't using my right hand, and it was really difficult trying to do certain things, like when I would eat dinner. If I wanted to carry a bowl or a plate or something over to the dinner table, I was unable to do it because I couldn't have both of my hands and be walking without my Hemi walker. So I actually had to use my roommates a lot throughout this and have them and be like, hey, can you pick this up and carry it over there for me? And I think that's also another difficult thing is I live with 2 other roommates who aren't OT majors, so they didn't really understand, like, yeah, they knew I couldn't use my right arm, but they would kind of be like, oh, you can just pick it up, can't you? Oh, you can just do it. And I was like, no, like, I really need you to come in, help me out with this. And so that was something that was a little difficult too is having other people that I know I don't have an actual disability act as if I do have a disability and help me out throughout the 20 or 48 hours. As I said though, overall I think that this is a amazing project to have us do. I think that it really allows us to know what the patient feels like, not even just in the disability aspect of it. It really allows us to get that self-esteem aspect of it and like have people feeling bad for us or people looking at us certain ways because you're taking an extra minute to cross the parking lot because you have a cane. I think it really gives you the idea of what our patients are going through in a psychosocial aspect of it rather than just the physical aspect of it. So I had a really great time doing it though, so thank you.